We dey go to the next one. Not forget, say the phone line is still open. If you want for contribute, you get the opportunity for make call or you text. Then the text them way on the text now the Facebook Live. I think it just they go back and forth to one another, so that's why we're not going to read them. But if you text relating to what they talk, definitely we go read them. Just like how we talked just now, this week, we hear about that forensic report. Let we listen within 98.1 put together concerning the forensic report. Let we listen this.
When President Bill take up office inside April last year, he declared war against corruption and promised Salone people say he will fight and tap corruption at the country. From that time day to now, President Bill they put measures in place through the Anti-Corruption Commission. The government transition team report will lead to the commissions of inquiry where they carry on now. Although this inquiry they carry on, this being time, over 50 auditor them will come out Kenya, Ghana and Tanzania. They can do special audits now 4 major government sector them. Outside the auditor there at the report say some past governments will command them been thief over $1 billion from the energy sector, telecoms, roads and assets. But what will lead to this special forensic audit report? Jacob Justus Safana, the Minister of Finance, he be explained.
I assumed office in May, effectively, 2018. I realized there were more leakages in the system than we knew because the arrears figure kept changing every month. In consultation with the team in the Ministry of Finance, we decided to request for special audits, special technical audits. Technical in the sense it's performance-based. It was beyond the usual financial audits. It really went down, drilled down the performance of contractors, the quality of work they did here and there. We didn't want a situation where someone was going to accuse us, quote unquote, the usual witch hunting. As mandated by law, we approached the audit service here, Leone.
Normally, how it on the Talek, now the Auditor General in office every year, can audit ministry, department and agency them, and later table the reports na Parliament, so that Parliament go debate and make recommendations to government through the Attorney General in office. But this special audit report, the Minister of Finance, Jacob Justus Safana, say, it not get nothing to do with the Auditor General in reports, where it get for Pulnado. And self is say, the Anti-Corruption Commission can use this special audit report as the source for do their own investigation then.
But somebody may want to ask, why has it not laid before Parliament, but rather we are getting it to the public? This was a special audit requested by the Ministry of Finance on behalf of government in line with the GTT report. We didn't take a look at all the sectors because we thought not that they were not critical, but we thought it makes meaning to look at high spending areas. So the audit was restricted to 4 areas because we know a lot of money was spent. The energy sector, my estimation by then was over 300 million was already expended, but I was proved to be even wrong at that time.
Jacob Justus Safana continues say, the team of auditor them, we been do this special audits na the 4 major government sector them. They cannot say, then people here with the name, then at the report them. Be they award contracts to the wrong contractor them. And safe, not be they use the right procedure them for give the contracts them. Same way so is say, some government institution them, be they give advance payment to contractor them, will not be begin for do the work kids. And safe somebody work them, where the contractor them be they do Jacob Justus Safana say, not get value for money. Now all here make the Minister of Finance give them people there till June 30 this year for let them pay the couple of them back where this particular report alleged say they've been thief from the country. If then can report here they come out outside foreign auditor then they allege say past governments will command them been thief the country in couple. What does this mean to Salone governance system? I put this question to Marcella Sambasi say, when are the executive director for campaign for good governance?
You know, the report's so damning. And one of the things that we personally are worried about as, somebody within governance and representing an institution with the work on governance, this don't bring with fragility. It don't affect with fragility index. It don't show how we do governance business in this country. For sure, say any kind of thing can happen. So fundamentally, there is a problem.
We then can plenty couple here, where the Minister of Finance say, then people here with the name then at this special report for pay by June 30 this year. Marcela Samba say not being agree say, then people are go able pay this couple. So the time the Minister of Finance don't ask them for pay.
Them money also for pay us against the tattoos process and the puts for make this thing up. But then people are getting them money right now for pay for once. Now we talk as Sierra Leoneans. The politicians are using political party sentiments, ethnic division for shroud the real issues. I am correcting people that Sierra Leoneans have been implicated. Let me left this political party discussion. If you get interaction with people them in governance, let it be unmarried.
Well, for sake of this report, according to the Minister of Finance, he said the Salon government go ask the Attorney General and Minister of Justice in advice as to how governments go able for recover them couple they are and make sure say all the one them where the report alleged say them thief government couple pay the money them back. For Radio Democracy, Mina Khadija Bangura.
Well, without waiting Khadija Bangura bring at the table from Radio Democracy. I think say what I go do, I go just play the one again from Parliamentary side. Into all listen to what Khadija Bangura say. Let us listen to what come out in Parliament.
I don't receive a lot of calls from the public on this particular issue. I also don't receive calls on the issue of anti-corruption, inviting people. I don't receive calls on that. I want to first of all start by saying that the ACC, that anti-corruption, they have every right to invite people where necessary. If they feel say somebody gets something for answer, we don't get nothing absolutely for do with the audit report or the refer to. They have the right for launch your investigations. They get a right for invite anybody for start or commence any investigation of that nature. I want to clarify that because I don't receive a lot of calls from the public concerning the role of ACC in all of this. That's the first thing I want to make very, very clear. Number two, the Constitution section 119 create Auditor General for Sierra Leone, the office. Section 119 subsection 4 talks say if at any time we Auditor General doing a report, it is Leone na Parliament, and then section 1195 talks say we the debate them. Normally, what we can do, if we don't lay them, we can decide for debate at that stage say, or we can decide for just commit them to the Public Accounts Committee. The Public Accounts Committee will go through the report and then come out with suggestions with recommendations because let's not forget say audit report of any kind of opinion, not just an opinion of professionals we don't go see the books the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament, what then they do now, then within the auditors they don't go see. If for example they say you Khadija, you don't thief or you don't misappropriate, I say you don't have misappropriate, let's say $1,000. But you know what the auditors are not going to talk to you. Now, the documents where they go see now, on that then they work. So with that suggestions only don't come, we in the Parliament now, they call you Khadija for can't tell we for say, look, the auditors they say now A, B, C, D. What do you say? So based on that, we more or less they find out, we investigate and then make recommendations to government through the Attorney General's office.
So by law, now owner Parliament force for lay and by this report before we go to the public.
Absolutely, because first of all, the special audit way don't happen. So the Constitution made provision for in section 1197 of the Constitution. It talks say President on the advice of Cabinet can decide to ask the Auditor General for do any particular audit at any time of any organization. So the audit itself is very legal, is in line with the Constitution. But the law is very, very clear that once you don't do that kind of audit day, they bring a can in Parliament, they come through the office of the clerk, they can't lay them. And once we don't lay them, then we now commit them to the Public Accounts Committee.
From the relevant section, the way you don't quote and also read from the Constitution, it clear say government go against parliamentary procedure they not come with this audit report first in Parliament before they launch onto the public. In this case, waiting owner as a Parliament they do.
I know we talk say they don't go against Parliament because I hear it clearly when the Minister of Finance talks say the document will be laid in Parliament. So for me, the launching of the document probably not be a fanfare. So the Minister himself is the law very, very well. The document will be be brought to Parliament.
But Mr. Leader, although you say na a fanfare, but looking at the Constitution, normally, the lawmaker then can say the Constitution is supreme. Now you self don't read what the Constitution say. Before it go na the public domain, audit for Kawita, I can lay and force na Parliament. Una debate them. Look at the recommendation. If it's necessary, set up a committee. Una advise government on the recommendation them. But in this case,
we have a very special situation here. You remember in 2015 or so, we had the same situation wherein they would do a special audit report. That audit report, government will go ahead for talk the same kind of situation for go ahead and talk about it in the public. But then at the time, Parliament insisted that that was the wrong thing they do, and that they had to bring the document back to Parliament. So that audit report, they began for bringing kind of Parliament. We'll look at it and make recommendations. But let us not forget, see, there is a lot of transformation taking place here. If you recall, during President Bio's address to the nation, he made a very, very clear that at some point, he gave for empower anti-corruption, for ensure for say they begin for take action on audit reports, even before the kind of Parliament. And that was because at the time of Ebola, a lot of people in this country, are the citizens of this country, they complain for say Parliament water down the auditor's report, Auditor General's report. So because of that, in his speech to Parliament, President make it very clear for say he will make sure say in future, then reports here, anti-corruption will begin to look into them even before Parliament they look into them. But that again, those are all legislations and where would they do?
So now, will you say don't see the mistakes, if I can say, where I say.
I'm not talking about mistakes.
Okay.
I'm not talking about mistakes don't happen. Because if they not bring the document can of Parliament and then they act on them, now it will be mistake. But as I said, the minister already don't talk, say, they bring the document can of Parliament and lay them. So
well, that's not the leader of government business, now Parliament, Honorable Mohamed Sidi Tunis, but they talk about that interview there with Khadija Bangura.
Well, now this don't happen. No. Everybody be glad they say, oh, the reports don't come out and da. Then before Parliament they knock chest, then would they waiting on Honorable Tunis say, I want to count you one time according with this. What are you take, sir? From the release to Parliament and everything, how everything they unfold. So what are you take?
I think so. What thing government do we at if let's say na be government appointed auditors and from what I get na the report, na people who come from other country.
Yes, now people who come from other country.
And I don't think say they get a stake na the political trend in Sierra Leone. I don't think say then people and they go come and well and credibility for discredit certain individuals. What the people and they find out, not that they point fingers on individuals, then find out say in certain aspects or certain sectors of government, this money not accounted for. Record not show say this money accounted for. This member of Parliament where they talk, he make a comment where I totally disagree with. Auditors and findings, not opinion. Not opinion. They know they give opinion, not opinion. Now waiting and find out. Then look at documents them, and then document then they not tally. If then that and find out. And not me say waiting and find out can be accurate. But waiting then in terms of waiting will be the end result of it. Now we say certain document they wouldn't present to them at the time. They don't even get sufficient documents. Tell somebody go keep money somewhere where the record not show. Waiting then tell you, exactly waiting and find out, not opinion. I completely disagree with that. Now they finding and they express. The second part of it, the member of Parliament talk say, the president himself did not talk say, the ACC would look into some of them things that even before Parliament get a say on this thing. The trouble with Parliament, America, they experience that right now because the Democrats and they call for certain documents them from Robert Mueller, and the present government and the Republicans Party, want to let that happen. There is this party sentiment. Parliament, when they go, you get one people will say, no, then people are then finding, get the people don't hear no opinion. or they not find out who will not disagree. You know, I think that need the government to go outside and get foreigners for can do the auditing. Mr. agree, let Parliament get a say because that's the law, you know, but that's not for all anti-corruption commission for beginning looking into it. When we get this extra when at the ACC, it will make Parliament then say no say. Well, then say get for work. Because the failure of government in the past, not just the APC, the failure of government in the past, it's not just limited to those who were ministers or so. It also extended to members of parliament, because members of parliament themselves be corrupt. The government them be bribe them. They're not going to do the things the way they're supposed to do. They be complacent. Not the government will be in power. They're not going to do what they exactly for. They're not be get serious seasoned opposition. I not always trust members of parliament, not even the members of parliament of the government in power. Because people see parliament as a way to go make money as well. You know, so the good that we have this ACC, where they look into, where independent, and one two people they don't know. ACC, they get people, they get international people who they observe what they do. Then records then being monitored by international bodies as well. So they're not going to go as witch hunters. They're not going to witch hunt anybody. We hear almost billions or so with $1,000,000. Some people get to be accountable for those money. You know, so they can Parliament can go, let them go delete then anti-corruption commission they're doing. So I'll just let answer that.
Okay, I don't know. Tony, don't join we. Okay, what me think about this whole issue? I think we get to get courteously because yes, carry on, Tony.
Hello.
Yeah, carry on.
I think the same way the member of parliament they miss a little bit now outside. In the city, the trend for them be after the audit, therefore take them to parliament. Yes, that's not the normal trend. That's not when usually audit service they do financial audit. This is not forensic audit. This is not special audit. We're not to just like the regular financial audit. But the both be conducted the same way to where you get to be carefully looked into documents. Mind you, the work of an auditor is not for catch this man. But for give them true for verify information, give them true and fair view of the information with they see. So mind you, there is a commission of inquiry going on. And because there is a commission of inquiry going on, some of these information they needed them. In order for them to get a substantial information, a true and fair view of everything, they made them call their own independent auditors mixed with real locals. You understand? All these procedures all over the world is the same. It's just like we body the color and change, but it's the same procedure. So not to say, except if they do an audit for controls or this or that types of control, no. But this is a forensic audit, which is different from the financial audit service people. So in this case, because of the financial and forensic audit, they don't need to go give parliament before they take action. No, then therefore continue and then hand over this information because mind you, some of these documents and where they honor some of them things there, they be available. They're all along available, but audit service not able to audit. Probably because we fall due within the audit period, you understand? They will try to take a holistic view from when the government comes and to date, you understand, before they go. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong. But the people they try to say, it would delay the process if at the end of the day they not give audit, they not give, because mind you, just like the guy said, many times when they see parliament, they water down some of them things in the end because waiting the government in power having majority, I talk about the previous government, the government in power by then, which was APC, having majority member of parliament. What do you expect? If it's for go, where then they go for go verify, or where then they go for go appoint, for go declare some of them, they say a position and they say, I don't know, declare they call away, then go to appoint somebody, and then for go the person in a parliament, before parliament go past, then go check, say, this person get this person get this. We see many times some of them people don't even get the qualification. But only they probably in parliament, they go ahead and say, yes, this person, we approve for the Minister of Information, like the case of Mohammed Bango and others. You understand? So I don't see there is anything wrong because, but the thing what they try to say here is that we got to really be mindful of certain things the way we say, because some of them things are what they say, where some of them we politicians and they say, make you not come back begin on some of them. You understand? But really and truly, you understand? The trend where they take for the anti-corruption, there's nothing wrong. I'm not to say there is anything wrong in that. Because at the end of the day, this document has to go to anti-corruption. It don't matter if they do it now or they do it later. At the end of the day, anti-corruption, therefore, check the people. And this is what they're doing. Mind you, it takes time, it will take time and resources. They say justice delayed, justice denied, or equity for faith. Now the iron one way they know say they need them people because some of these people don't even in this alone. And some of these people, they also because some of them people are needed by the Commission of Inquiry currently going on. It's high time now, anti-corruption able for all day now. Now, no say anti-corruption not take action, they wait for Parliament. What you find out say, this Commission of Inquiry therefore do, people definitely indict the guys there. So why we see the same processes, you don't make anti-corruption come in once and indict them and say, brah, them money they want to do it, or want to explain to we for that, we see. But based on the record, what we see, what we audit, this is exactly what's going on, except if they do business, we will normally send us some of that information they did, them just do they normally do the procedural wearing documents or the normally to the effect. Because we see a lot of 1 billion I mean then thing and they putting all the region them, all the districts and salon will get a summer hospital, summer equipped, automated, everything. That's on the hospital will get for that 1 billion and it will less access. So I mean, there's nothing wrong, but we have to be mindful. Say this is a forensic audit. This is not just like the financial audit the way they can do. I'm here to take that.
All right, thank you, Tony. Before we let you for go, what will be your final statement and what are your anticipation for next week?
Well, my anticipation for next week, we just hope and pray. Let we country just like how we only pray. We don't pray for 10 years what he done. God still the work miracle. God still let we Ebola come. We pray to God. God solve them. Landslide come and this we pray to God. If he said that same God we don't do it for we, it was still there for go and back. It was still there for go and back. So now we just pray. So God, now we just hope and pray. You're not Muslim before you go to bed, pray. If you're not Christian before you go to bed, God no more. Now the only true God will go before we liberate alone. Now the only two God, then we will give leaders the wisdom. If we change people, their mindset. Now God will change people. But in as much as we pray for them, God change, we certainly we need to come and get for prayer. We therefore put effort. So one day your personal problem, in domestic problem, they put up on government. They blame government for that. Even when I instead of making your bad decisions in life, they blame government. Government's not easy. Except somebody who don't want to be a leader. Before you begin head home, you begin head organization, you begin head certain areas that you say, then you will know say leadership. That's how you see them. Before you say somebody they head the whole country, where in everything is just shattered. And no money, they will all see you in the election. How they shape money like who say if you say some of them money then maybe they come out. Who say if you say them money they were not coming from them guys and they personal offer. No, these are government funds. These are funding for develop the country. Then they shape so make this make that this party office na Makeni. If na big office to say them you take that money they go be na Makeni. By now we don't know the power so the hospital go stay the serve the people there. All them things they now for the look why make the ground dry. You understand? Yes, someone will say that people in contribution. What kind of contribution? We all know we made a salon with the sea. We do the pray no more to God. Let God really help me. Let help the leader. Let we get genuine investors. Let we really get genuine people who can invest. Otherwise, government cannot provide jobs for everybody. Now only when they create the enabling environment. So they let them create the enabling environment. Let them know they fight corruption, let them they make corrupt, let them being corrupt. You understand? Let them start sincere. We see for now, yes, there are one or two glitches there and there, but they are minor. These are minor things. In audit, there are certain things that we know they consider as material, materiality or whatever. They are that we can ignore them. But in the case of what we see right now, they're treading on the right path. We hope say there will be the light at the end of the tunnel if they continue this spread. Not to follow them put the past regime on edge, but let government functionaries the way they serve right now. Let periodically then they check them. Let them they check them because that's such an absence. They the same people there. We may know somehow in America. We may know somehow in Midday. We may see that. So if we see someone and people that we come by us now, wait for the big question. Say, now say PC on the come by us. You said don't begin by us. Go for government. Go for ready for chess. That's the concept for ready for chess. For the blind and against them people then they. That's not we want for see really. I mean, that I'm not prayer. Want for see everything. It cut across. I don't believe that. The thanks to everybody for listening. God bless we all. That we all continue for pray for whatever we pray for. Now we need to call. Now let God for provider for we. And let God give we. Let God liberate to land from the corrupt politicians that will get.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Yes, Aaron. Waiting now you final statement. You said that one with your opinion before. Yes, waiting at the talk about this particular issue. I think the parliament and the people and all these people, they try to divert their attention. And I think the Honorable Tunis get for choose the right words them where they use, where they address this particular issue, or else other people then go capitalize on the word. Because remember where he talks maybe in just a showdown they want to do, where they go do the launch. Exactly. I think that was the wrong choice. And again, you said we don't point out where he talks now opinion. No, it's not an opinion. Now they paid to do that job. It's a job. Now them findings. Now where you go do your job, you say whatever you they do. Now you job down there. These people are auditors. Then come out from different African countries. Then they come, attend it, then can then care, then go say, oh, now so and so then they can do, and we all welcome them. So they don't do no to opinion because they were paid to do it. At the end of the day, anti-corruption don't begin act. So if then they raise question and say, oh, then it's just so funny. Then in the defend again say yes, even though the reporter the ask and say so the mistake do up, he say no, not a mistake because the president be don't say even before Parliament sit on something anti-corruption go begin act. But those are the same people back they say according to the constitution if I don't come first in Parliament. So they can say if you're not able to convince me, not confuse me. Because at the end of the day, this is where we are going. But inside the report, not go deep in, I just want to pick one or two things. Africell. When Africell, up to date, as we speak, Africell not get 4G. Africell the boast say they get 4G. But Africell not get 4G. Because I go salon. Explain to people and let them know. Yes, no, people that understand 4G, they understand 4G na phone. Na Africell still they use 3G, but then they claim say na 4G they get. Because I get a device. So yes. Customers. Yes. And no, not even customers. I reach to that point. I get a device where I go to a salon. When I they use for my internet and salon. Where I go with, where I put the Africell, I get all the SIM name. Each mobile network in a salon I get. Because for count the show I can they on, I use 3 different connections and just for bring this show on their Saturday days they were this salon. Each day they cost me like 400,000. Where they bring this show work in this salon. Now they cost me just on internet. So Africell they both say na 4G they get, but they don't. When you take the SIM, you put it inside the device they see the SIM as 3G SIM. The only people that will be get 4G now is Seattle. Yes, Seattle get 4G, but Africell even though then they both say na 4G, it is not. Na 3G SIM then they use, na 3G service then they use. The only thing they go tell me say fast. And even Orange now only last week now they launched the 4G. I'm not there, so I can't test and say okay yes, not true 4G or not a 4G, but Africell. So Africell say them want to do expansion. Africell go to the government of Sierra Leone when I be the then APC government give them money. Not to go so. Give them how many $1 million say they want to do expansion for do the 4G. Well, even as we speak, they not get 4G. So the money where government give them, then we be get for land inside the same report.
They get for refund that money they back.
Well, we get for land when it's not give them. We get for land inside this report. Official suppose. Yes.
Yeah, the area with this, I don't know, you get me clear or the echo?
It echo and it gets bad background sound.
Background noise.
Okay. I think it's clear now. With the area of 4G, I just want to come in and give you input.
Okay.
Based on your small experience with Telecom company. Then I think they get certain sites them when a 4G site. You know now the spectrum, it's just like where you get your host, you get a first and cassette, there are some table, it play, you get the Huawei now, there are first and CD, itself they play, you connect them all, then you get the latest technology with itself when you switch. So there are times something can happen, you just start the area the way you go be, like the area the way they say that high usage, people them like those inside certain area them, they can able forget probably when a 4G the spectrum. I'm not the defender them say they not get 4G, but now the spectrum, it don't mean say like salon for salon, not like America where America would say now 4G we use every site in America now 4G. No, because now more money for like connect all the BTS them to 4G sites. You understand? So what thing happen is then we get selected sites like Airtel now. Then we get selected sites with their sites then they now 4G. The other side still will be the 3G, then still therefore remain 3G. The other side, the society means set now 2G. 2G just means second generation, third generation. 4G, now long-term evolution where your phone will be so smart in usage, you're able to download picture at the same time you talk to somebody or probably they do video call. It's so clean, you know, they box down with it. You understand? Now that's not the service is the way. But in the case of Salon, because internet service where they get from Telecom or wherever, very, very, very low in terms of megabytes or whatever, and then able for transmitting them picture this, make you able to enjoy. In certain areas, they know where they able to transmit before you put your data download because it transmits at a high speed. So they make somebody go say, hey, I tell them not teach me data. They not teach me data, but because of the kind of file where you they download or where the phone and every smartphone how they use the download, you store data with Google iPhone number. You don't update your software. You don't update most of the software. So now that will make some money at all. Immediate are not differ. You know, but I think they get one or two sites now 4G sites.
Okay, thank you for that clarification there. Thank you. But I still stand on waiting at they say, yes, we don't get you loud and clear. But waiting me they say is, then they both say na 4G, usai me day. Not to 4G DD. I believe if they don't make and clear, say some places go get 4G, some places go get 3G. In the States, waiting that they tell we say, when you go to the rural areas, them, they no can get as fast as internet than where you did at the urban areas. So then they will already understand. Even the 5G now, even America, where they try for push, but the rural areas, them, they no say it go take them a long time before they go get them. What are they say? Africell don't dodge paying tax and waiting is supposed to pay up to the amount of $4 million. So then yourself then at this report where they're supposed to pay that $4 million. Everybody who didn't have the report, they say them for pay by the 30th of June. So Africell say for pay that $4 million where they say they owe in tax where they beyond the boycott. So if we they talk about all this, the cable money, the money where they inside under, the kind way where they scatter them, even SLRA where you go, they think say, oh, roads authority, the road and the this and that, all the monies them. It's really sad. We come up to 1 billion leons. Where that 1 billion day. Right now, a lot of people, now the past government, they say, then we go ask them, but they not come back for, can ask them for paper. Well, we dey wait. If na committee get for set up na Parliamentary, then go for go to. If na anti-corruption, they call them, let them go show paper. Oh, well, we still dey wait. But at the end of the day, until they don't say the 30th of June, if nothing not come out today, if you not go pay, Then we dey waiting anti-corruption go come, but anti-corruption don't begin act already. They don't begin invite people in, so they not even wait. And I just hope for the best of everything, and I give you the platform again, Aaron.
Well, thank you. What did you say no more? People and we. I said this earlier. When you get when also say you think about you, when them, even then people will come where they can invest. If they find out say bribery, now one way they actually will get them way. Of course, the money they always they get where they don't invest them. One pull them through corruption practices. You know, some of them practices they are reactive, not just within the context of the silent government or whoever they may be in charge, but with the one the way then they deal it internationally as well, because they see young people them be ready, they're not care for do the work for the country, you know, and I make just glad for this role with this ACC they play, you know, and I hope that this government go learn from the past experience, with the country experience, and then just the police say, then if we come away with Tony say, then if we come, don't go see, oh well now, you know this cow for its mentality. Hope say we forget about us for the good of the country, you know, because it took a long time for let you see the results, the outcome of development programs. You know, it's so difficult. Just like I say, when you try to build up something, it will take some time before you able to put them together. You know, for the slow arm, it's so quick. You know, and government will realize that. You know, and next year, 1 year from now, people then go ask more questions. Excuses no good day. So then get forget that in mind and for make the country go before. So far, we look forward to next week. We hope say we listeners them will join me. Then we call me this time around for give them your opinion about what the things that we discuss. That woman we die, we then they try for ID in, but we hope say by then we don't get some result out of that. And then money out would say people the milk out of the country. We only hope say government will push for them pay at least some of the money then be back. With that, I will say good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you do.